Hi, my name is Attorney Walter Rudolph Hnot III. I'm sorry for late or starting so late tonight. It's 8:09 p.m. as opposed to the usual 8 o'clock. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be running questions with people who call in at 8, although it's a little bit late, and assisting them with the process of basically going through their Social Security disability benefits. So, what this session we do every week, except it used to just be mostly about the idea of going ahead and just doing hearing questions. But now we're going to be doing a functional any types of questions that you want to call in about. So we're going to be doing this from 8 until 10 tonight. I'll be joined by my two dogs. One of them is, of course, chewing things off the left because she's a puppy. The things that I want to touch on today, howdy, good sir. Good to see you. So let's see. It looks like I did miss a call somewhere in there, which is fine. I do want to go ahead and take an intro moment to go ahead and create some of the details relevant to this. Let's go ahead and start with the basic functions, which are some of our basic sponsors. Okay, so first one, second wave masks. I don't know if anybody out there can go ahead and throw up a link real quick. But these are the masks that I use throughout my day-to-day applications. They're really nice. The fabrics are great and all those things. Official announcement, I will be returning in full to offices in September. So right at the beginning of September, I'll be going back to all the usual offices that I traditionally go to. The reason for this is that I can't actually get sick at all. And the reason why is that I have to interact with a lot of clientele. And if I get sick, I'll miss some hearings and things like that. Now, with that said, I'm going to give my puppy over here a little treat. That way she's not, basically destroying the place, which she has pretty much done already. So let's go ahead and begin with some of the basic things that I'm going to be doing in the future. That I'm on vacation in August. And during August, there's two main things I'm going to be doing, which are taxes, and also I'm going to be doing, finishing up the website. Really, getting a call. Hold on. Okay. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. Are you ready to go ahead and run some live hearing questions?
Yes, sir.
Excellent, excellent. Give me 1 second to put the phone together. Here we go. Now, there's no attorney-client privilege with this. Make sure you use a fake name. And let's go ahead. What is your fake name for this hearing session?
Ginger.
Ginger, excellent. Walk me through date of birth and current age.
January the 4th, 1956. I'm 54 years old.
Excellent. Very good, very good. Now, help me out with this. What are your top 3 most severe impairments?
Depression, vertigo, and having heart problems. And doctor told me that I need to go to a specialist. Mm-hmm. Well, the next day, I lost my job, so I never got to go to the specialist, so I don't have any health insurance. Mm-hmm. So my heart hurts so bad where I can't breathe, so I just have to stay still for like maybe 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
At a time.
Gotcha.
And then it'll go away.
Okay. So walk me through this. You have these cardiac issues. Do you have a specific name for what the diagnostic impression is?
For depression? No, they just said I was just depressed.
No, for your heart condition.
No, sir, because I never did make it to the heart specialist because I lost my job and I lost my benefits. I don't have any medical insurance.
Okay, so there's no clinics, no emergency room visits where they went ahead and said something that, this was...
No, all they said, the doctor said was just, you have some issues with your heart that I'm concerned about, so we're going to refer you to a heart specialist. But like I said, I lost my job a couple of days later, so I never did get to go, and it's been hurting ever since.
Walk me through this. What was the last job that you worked?
Well, I'm currently working right now. I work at Grubhub, and I just work part-time. Mm-hmm. But my boyfriend actually takes me and drives the car because, like I said, I have vertigo, which makes the world spin around and around, and it makes me throw up. So it's kind of hard. Okay.
So basically, you're not the one driving. When you say, part-time, what are we talking about? Are we talking about 4 hours? Are we talking about 8 hours? Are we talking about 6 hours? What are we talking about?
We're talking probably about 2 hours a day, or even 1 hour a day.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and just help me out. Is Grubhub, I'm assuming that's kind of like,
It is kind of like what you're saying. Like if we get an order food, it'll just ring on your phone. Mm-hmm. I have the option to take the order or not the order because it's kind of like, it's my business.
Okay, excellent. All right, so let's go through this real quick. So you said you have depression, vertigo, and you're also dealing with cardiac-based issues. What are your top 5 most severe issues?
Well, the heart problems, the depression, the vertigo. Mm-hmm. I also have the bending of my knees. Like if I tried... I'm sorry, did you say something?
No, no, I didn't. Just the top 5. So what are 2 additionals that would go on the end of these?
Oh, whenever my knees have pressure, okay, a long time ago I was diagnosed with, I cannot get up at all. It's just awful. I have to grab something, and then when I get up, my knee, I guess would say diabetes.
Okay.
Go to the bathroom a lot, every hour.
Okay. All right. So walk me through this. So basically, we have, having to urinate often. We have, now, do you have any orthopedic devices that have been prescribed to you?
What do you mean by orthopedic?
Like canes, crutches, walkers, wheelchairs, stuff like that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I really do need it, but I haven't.
Okay, gotcha. So help me out with this then. So you're having these issues, right? Out of all of them, which do you feel is most severe?
The vertigo.
The vertigo. Okay, gotcha. All right. So when I wasn't really sure which one the direction was going with. So tell me about the vertigo. When did this start?
This vertigo started October the 10th, 2018.
Okay. Well, what happened in 2018?
Oh, okay. What happened in 2018, I was just ready to get up out of the bed. And as soon as I opened my eyes up, the whole room started to spin. And I'm like, oh, my God. And I don't drink, so, it's nothing like we had a hangover or anything. It was just so crazy how the room was starting to spin. So I tried to get up, but I laid right back down because I felt like I had to throw up. So I tried to crawl out of the bed, gave me some pills to take, and the symptoms that with the shaking and the spinning, it lasted for about a month. It always lasts every time I have a vertigo attack. It's the craziest thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Okay. So is there a reason why they started?
The doctor couldn't tell me why. I have no clue.
How often do you have these? Yeah, go ahead.
I do have, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I do have tinnitus, the ringing of the ears, and they said that could be a cause.
Okay. So help me out with this. So we've got a bunch of issues here. The vertigo. How often do you have the vertigo per month?
Probably around 2. Text. What are you saying?
Well, you have a vertigo situation where you're spinning all over the place. How often per month do you have that, and how long does it last?
Oh, like I said, I have it about once a month, and the symptoms, they last, I know this is crazy, about a month. Whenever I'm talking about the spinning may last about 20 minutes, and then I just have to be real still, but once a month. But the whole symptoms of the throwing up, that lasts about a whole month, where I can't get out the bed. I can't do anything. It's nothing.
Okay. But you can do the job, right? You can do the Grubhub.
I would say the depression, because it makes me where I'm depressed. Sometimes I can't even get out of the bed. And I have lack of concentration. Even if I was to go to my other job, I used to work at a bank years ago, I would be so depressed sometimes going to work, and I couldn't concentrate. I had, fog. It was awful.
Tell me a little bit more about it. What happened? Why did you stop working? Well, walk me through it.
Well, I was sick for a lot of days at my job at the bank, and they kind of talked to me and said that, you're kind of sick a lot, you're taking too many sick days. And I told them, that I had depression, and then they also talked to me about going to the bathroom. So they eventually let me go. So that's what happened there.
Okay. With the diabetes, why isn't it under control?
Well, I have no idea. I mean, I don't take Metformin because, like I said, I don't have any medication. I don't have medical insurance. Okay. The only thing I do take is I take herbs. I take it's called Niadola, a cactus pill, and that helps. It helps a little.
So you're only taking one medication, or are there other medications that you're currently taking?
The actual medication would be that one that's not one medication. That's the one for a vertigo. But that's kind of terrible because it actually makes me dizzy and nauseated. So I went and I actually bought some, I think it's called turmeric.
Okay. So that's going to be a huge weakness in your claim. I mean, massive weakness, because, I mean, if you've got vertigo, it's that bad. If you've got you know, a cardiac issue that's that bad, depression, and it's that bad, then, you know, you're just taking over-the-counter based kind of naturalized pills. So that's going to be a huge weakness. When was the last time? Let's do this now. What's your third most severe impairment?
So the third one, let's see. I would say that it's the heart problems.
Heart problems. Okay. And help me out with this. Your depression. How does that limit your ability to do household functions?
My heart problems?
Oh no, the depression.
So depressed, you just don't want to be here. You don't want to get out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel like you want to do anything. That's, to be honest.
Keep going. I mean, and I'm going to give you back the answer that you gave me so that you can kind of feel it. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to get out of bed. You missed a super massive opportunity there to go into, well, I can't do cooking. I can't do cleaning. I can't do laundry. I can't do transportation. I can't do buying food. I can't do prepping food. Big opportunity there. How does depression limit my ability to do household activities? Go ahead.
Well, I can't do the clean. I can't do. Can't wash my face. I can't do anything. And sometimes I actually, to be honest, have suicidal thoughts as well.
Okay. Were you ever Baker acted?
Your phone cut it out.
Oh, were you ever Baker acted?
Baker acted. What does that mean?
That's where you have suicidal thoughts. They send the police over. They collect you. They take you over to a mental facility.
No.
Okay.
Oh, not at all. No.
Okay. All right. So if you were to react in hearing and you said, look, I have suicidal thoughts sometimes, and then your reaction to us was, you know, were you ever Baker acted? And you say, oh, no. It tells it tells the judge that specifically you aren't even close to severe when it comes to that type of mental impairment. And that's a big thing. Oh, I just want to do a quick call out. Dime Daryl, thank you so much for making the donation. I really super duper appreciate it for the boat and the pups. Yes, that's good because tomorrow I have to pick up more boat stands. So this is good. Excellent. So let me think about, all right. So with your claim, the weaknesses so far that we know of, and we want to kind of consolidate it down so you can work on it. Testimony is a big one. You're not sure how to express yourself when it comes to explaining why your impairments limit your ability to do stuff. The only thing that we have that's solid is that you had to reduce your workload from full-time to part-time based upon vertigo. We now know specifically what your top 3 impairments are from the most severe, and that's awesome. We're now kind of like consolidating exactly where we need to focus our effort. It's not bad medication. No, you're actually taking really good stuff. So don't stop that. Just if you can, go to an emergency room, get them to prescribe or do something, or maybe a clinic where they can prescribe some sort of medication to you so that you can use that. The other thing is this: when it comes to
they did prescribe this for the vertigo.
Okay, good. And what medication was that?
Pantoprazole.
Mm-hmm. And what side effects do you get from it?
It makes me dizzy and nausea, the same effects that I already have when I take it.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So it doesn't really work is what you're saying.
That's exactly right. It does not work.
Okay. And can you help me out with this? If it doesn't work, why haven't you tried alternative medications or requested to have alternative medications?
Because I don't have free clinic.
Yeah, free clinic.
Free clinic.
Okay. So here's the thing. You're going to Google in your area where the free clinics are for medical treatment. And what they'll do is they'll start prescribing medication. And then most of the medication that they prescribe you, you can get free through their resources.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let me go ahead and go through this. So walk me through this. When it comes to the depression. Oh, no, actually, let's skip that. I want to go back to the bigger question. Judges will either ask you this question in one or two forms. It's about household activities. It's either going to come as the category dump version, which is where they say, hey, do you have any issues with cooking, cleaning, laundry, paying bills? Or they're just going to say, how does your impairment, how does your anxiety, how does your depression, how does your cardiac issue, how does your vertigo limit your ability to do household activities? Both questions are really tough. because then you have to throw in, I have difficulty with cooking because of this. I have difficulty with cleaning because of this. I have difficulty, yada, yada. So I'm going to give you an example of one that you need to, you know, like try and shape it like. And I'm going to pretend that I'm you for a moment. So you're going to ask me, okay, claimant, walk me through this. Why do you have a tough time, you know, cleaning, you know, with your impairments, right? And then I would respond and say, well, I have a difficult time lifting pots and pans because I get back issues. I have a hard time standing for extended periods to go ahead and cook things. I often forget and leave things on because I have vertigo and depression. I don't like to cook things because basically I can't follow the steps because I get confused midway through and forget which things I was doing. And then ultimately, aside from leaving things on and forgetting to turn things off, I don't remember when it's time to sometimes eat, or that I'll use too much food and then have too much. How do you have a tough time due to your impairments with laundry?
Well, as far as like, if say I had my vertigo attack for that day, honestly, Judge, I would say I can't get out of the bed, and this is not true. If the vertigo has already passed, I'll give it like maybe about 3-4 days. You know, the spinnings have stopped. Then I'll get out the bed, but it's just really, really hard to get out of the bed and just to do anything. It's not just the laundry. It's anything.
Okay. So walk me through this. What does this anything mean? I mean, and remember, you're doing a lot of general, like, landscape overall. You know, I'm including the bushes, the trees, the skies, and the universe. It's hard for me to pick up laundry. I forget to switch it over. Laundry, I often leave it in. Laundry, you know, I'm not able to fold, able to do this or that or whatever. I can't get up onto the floor where it's located. I'm looking for like why you can't do this stuff. Otherwise, it seems like, you could do it. So let's try a different one. Okay. Talk to me about cleaning in the house.
Okay. Well, I'm unable to do cleaning in the house like I should because it's hard to get out of the bed. It's hard to focus on what I need to do for my daily task for cleaning the house, because when it comes to my depression, I just lack focus. If I was to put, like you said, depressed, and I'll forget that I even need to put them in a dryer. And then I'll have to go back. And then if I put them in the dryer, then I'll forget to turn it on sometimes because I'm just depressed. So I don't do a really good job of cleaning my house. Yeah, okay, as far as, like, say when I get out of my depression, I also have my left foot that hurts really bad. If I push the vacuum for a long time, I have to stop right in the middle of it because it hurts so bad. Because I've been diagnosed with back issues. My left foot hurts, my right foot hurts, my left hand was broken and misdiagnosed. It was misdiagnosed because they said it wasn't broken, and then it kept hurting, and it's still hurting to this day. So I went back to another doctor, and they said, whoever diagnosed you misdiagnosed you. So you need to love it because I have so much pain in my hand or my left foot.
Okay, throughout that whole thing, I never heard a single adjective that was useful for the word pain. I heard excruciating, but you know, I can't use that. Like, I don't know what that is to you. I don't know how to define what your excruciating is versus somebody else's. So walk me through, define the pain, like where you have it in your body, and what type of pain is it? Is it sharp? Is it a lightning-like? Is it a grinding? Is it a burning? Go for it.
Okay, so for my left hand, it is a sharp pain. And for my left foot, it's burning pain in my left hand. If I try to bend over and pick something up, well, it goes from my back into my knees. My knees, I cannot get back up because my knees, they hurt. I would just say they hurt from 1 to 10. The scale from 1 to 10, a 10.
So you're in constant. All right, be careful with that because 10 out of 10 means you should be in like surgery. So like when judges hear 10 out of 10, they're like, here we go. You know, one of those gigs.
Okay. Well.
But keep going. Keep going.
Oh, honestly, they said I should have surgery. because they said my cartilages, I don't have a bone. My bones are rubbing against each other.
Mm-hmm. Keep going. You're losing speed. Keep going.
Okay. So if I try to, like say I'm vacuuming, if I need to pick something up to move it, and I'm trying to squat,
Right.
my knees, it hurts. Or I can't get back up. So I'll have to stop again, take a few minutes. That's the part where, for the cleaning part, I can't effectively do a good job when I clean.
Okay. All right. Did you hear how I had a pause in there and I didn't respond immediately?
Yes.
When you hear that, when you feel that, that's your attorney expecting you to go into more detail. So just know that pause represents you talking more about the thing in detail. So let's do another category. There are things called environmental restrictions. There are things in the the outside world and inside world that cause us to have more severe impairments. Those are like cold, hot, dust, bright lights, blinking lights, dust.
Being hot. Due to this vertigo, I've had issues where I can't even take a shower, because if you've ever had vertigo, whenever you take a hot shower, all of a sudden sometimes you will black out, sometimes the room will start spinning, sometimes you will feel like you're about to throw up in the shower. So I'll have to stop my shower and I'll run to the bed and lay down and kind of cool off. So being hot is what actually kind of brings these attacks.
Okay. What else?
Oh, okay. So you're pausing. What happened too? Sometimes when it gets really hot, I can be out just walking like in a park. And if my body gets too hot, this is not anything to do with the vertigo, I'll all of a sudden start to black out. And I know this is going to sound crazy to you, but whenever I get so hot, all the noise around me will actually start to, I won't be able to hear anything. At first, I'm in a crowd of people. I can hear them talking. But then when these symptoms come on, I won't be able to hear anything. It'll go away. My legs will start shaking again like something crazy. I'll have to sit down. I'll start sweating a lot. And then after a few minutes later, I'm back to normal again. It makes no sense. I went to the doctor for this, and they actually said they don't know what that is. So that's another symptom. I've had that about.
How hot is it outside?
When the weather gets hot, should I say? I'm sorry. When it gets anything over 100 degrees and I'm walking around, that's when it brings on these weird things that happen with vertigo and this other thing that I just mentioned to you, which I don't have the name for it, and the doctor don't know what it is either.
Okay. So when it is, what temperature outside are we talking about?
Over 100 degrees. I don't know the exact temperature.
Okay, so over 100 degrees around where you live.
Well, I live in Texas, so it happens maybe 3-4 times a week.
3-4 times a week, it's over 100 degrees in Texas.
Lately, it has been. Yeah, the weather's hot over here right now.
Okay. And how does that limit your ability to do things?
How is it a limit? Well, it's limited to a lot of things for me that I can't do, because one thing, I have the depression. I get scared if I go out, because I'm thinking, oh, this weird thing's going to happen where I'm just going to feel like I'm going to faint. That's one thing. If it gets really hot, I feel like if it gets hot that I may have a vertigo attack. But then I know that if I have a vertigo attack, it kind of gives me a warning, because it kind of feels like I'm about to throw up first before I actually have a vertigo attack. But that limits me to going out and like shopping or just living my life. That's my ability. So that's why I have my boyfriend to help me do these things around the house, do these things like if I need to go to the grocery shopping or stuff like that.
Okay. Talk to me about the boyfriend. Why do you get along with him but not other people?
didn't ever say I didn't get along with anyone.
Okay, so I've just trapped you now. I'm just telling you up front. You've just convinced
Okay.
me that you could do a job interacting with the public, bosses, coworkers, friends, and family. Right? I mean, you just told me that you get along with people. So I know that now, as a categorical reference, you're able to go ahead and integrate with any type of job out there that the DOT has, Dictionary of Occupational Titles, that involves being around people. So walk me through this.
Not really.
Okay, so what does that mean?
Because in my field, I used to be a manager at a bank. And when you're someone in authority, the people underneath you, they really don't like you because you're the boss. You tell them what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a lot of management, positions
Mm-hmm.
of authority. So,
So you used to work at a bank. Why couldn't you do that and be a manager anymore?
well, because like I said earlier, me having diabetes, I used to go to the bathroom all the time. Like I would say once every hour. And my boss would tell me, you're taking a lot of bathroom breaks. And then I would tell her, the issue that I was having.
Mm-hmm.
Plus I called in sick.
So you were having a tough time. Things were not going well. They didn't like your time off task. You're going to the hour. Out of that, they needed somebody to be more reliable than that. They got somebody else. Why didn't you seek out another job in the same field?
Well, I did.
Okay.
And the same thing happened again.
Okay. So walk me through this. Within the past 15 years, what were the jobs, the types of jobs, the categories of jobs that you had?
Well, actually, they're mostly all banks, to be honest.
Okay.
I've been a teller, and I've been assistant manager, been a manager,
Mm-hmm.
and they said that you can't go because I called in so many times because of my depression, and then they're saying that I missed so many days of work.
So, all right, it's the same repetitive thing, but this must have happened at some point where you lost your first job due to your impairments. What was that date?
2015.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how did things evolve? Walk me through the timeline. So you said 2015 things started to go in the wrong direction when it comes to your impairments and your work. Then what happened?
Well, after I lost my job, from missing so many days, I was like, well, I was let go. Whenever you lose your job, God will open up another door. So I'm like, well, let me just try getting on at another bank. Maybe it'll be better. But it wasn't.
Okay.
Being depressed, I still didn't feel like getting out of the bed. Still didn't feel like going to work. People around me, to be honest, they were just not very nice co-workers or managers to be working with. Mm-hmm. So that job I quit. Mm-hmm. But before I quit, the manager was telling me that, you're still missing too many days, and still talking about me going to the bathroom. Nothing has changed. So after 2018, I'm like, well, you know what? Let me just stop working for people. Let me just try working, in Grubhub or DoorDash, doing something like that.
Okay.
So I can make my own hours. If I feel bad, I don't have to go to work whenever. I don't have to do like a straight 9 to 5 every day, Monday through Friday, because I can't be a dependable worker due to my health issues going to work every day. Mm-hmm. But there's sometimes if my boyfriend can't drive me over to I'll just say deliver some food, I'll drive myself. And then if I feel that vertigo going on, or if I feel like I'm getting nauseated, I'll pull on the side of the road, wait till it goes away, and then I'll go home real quick, because I'm like, I'm not going to take a chance being out on this road with this vertigo about being hit. So that's kind of because I can't keep going through life like this.
Okay. All right. Let's start from the very beginning. But this time I'm going to do it like we're actually in a hearing. I'm going to beat you up a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and use some of the things that I've learned about you against you. So you're going to be kind of swimming uphill on this one. Okay?
Okay.
Madam, go ahead and state your full name for the record.
Ginger Taylor.
Okay. Now, what current date of birth and age?
January the 4th, 1966, 54 years old.
Okay. And help me out. What are your top 5 most severe impairments?
Heart problem, depression, vertigo, and bending of my knees, squatting, can't get up.
Okay, that's 4. And also vertigo. Top 5 most severe impairments.
Vertigo, depression, heart problems, bending of my knees, and back problems.
Okay. And explain to me, what is your most severe physical impairment?
Okay, so diabetes wouldn't be physical. Okay. I would say my left hand that was broken, it was misdiagnosed and it's still hurting.
Okay, so your left hand. So walk me through this. Okay, so have you had surgery on it? What happened to it?
Well, I fell in my home, and I went to the doctor.
Go ahead.
Okay, I fell in my home on the stair, and then I went to the doctor, and then they told me, oh, you just have a sprain.
Right.
And they didn't even put any time on it. So it still kept hurting, so I went back to, I had a second diagnosis from a different doctor, and they said, oh, my goodness, whoever diagnosed you should have put a cast on your left hand, because they showed me the little x-ray where the bone was not healing. So, like I said, to this day, it still hurts. So it's not even healed properly. So sometimes whenever I try to grab stuff, or like I should have said this, whenever I was cooking, when I try to lift stuff, my left hand hurts so bad I'll have to let go, and sometimes I almost drop stuff.
Okay. So, help me out with this. What's your most severe mental impairment?
Well, just being depressed. Can't concentrate. Lack of focus.
What about vertigo?
About vertigo?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, with vertigo, you can't do anything. You have to just be still.
Okay. So what's your most?
You can't walk up.
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry.
So what's your most severe mental impairment? Most severe mental impairment?
It would be the vertigo.
Okay. And help me out with this. So understanding that, why are you unable to work nowadays?
Because if I had a full-time job where I had to be every day, and sometimes when I have these vertigo attacks, it limits me getting out of the bed, not just working, but doing anything in my life. I can't get out of bed. I can't clean my house. I can't go to work. I just have to stay still. And the actual, whenever I have the vertigo attacks, it limits me to staying in bed sometimes almost 2 weeks at a time. So no employer is going to want somebody who keeps calling in all the time, with saying that, they're sick with the room spinning, and just all my senses of vertigo.
So you used to do a job that was around a lot of people, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you get along with most people?
Well, like I said, I used to be a manager, and being a manager, they don't like to take orders, so I get along with them the best that I can.
So the employees didn't like to take orders from you, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And help me out with this. Did you ever have any issues, getting the employees to do what you needed them to do?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And can you tell me what you did to try and get the employees up what your desires were?
Well, I would sit down and I would just talk to them. I would try to, find out, if they're having a bad day, if they're having problems at home, I would ask them, what can I do to help them get on board.
Mm-hmm.
Or if that didn't work, I would also, talk to my manager, because I was the manager at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we would both come up with a plan, to, like I would just say, pull the tellers in and talk to them and try to, get to the root of the problem. And that would probably work the most of the time.
What was the highest managerial position that you had at the bank?
Just assistant manager.
So you're never a full manager?
No.
Okay, that's important, because there's a huge difference between manager and assistant manager when it comes to the DOT vocational expert portion. So help me out with this.
I trained the tellers as well.
Mm-hmm.
I did daily reports. I actually did some teller work as well.
Mm-hmm.
I did everything the tellers did in management work as well.
So now I want to understand this completely. Your boyfriend currently helps you with stuff, correct?
Correct.
What kind of things does he help you with?
Well, if I'm feeling bad, he will drive a car, go into Grubhub.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Feel bad around the house, he will cook. He will clean. That's really basically about it. If he's in the other living room, I will holler at him. I said, if you hear something, come running in here to help me.
Okay. Gotcha.
And
okay. So walk me through this. Do you have any issues with like cooking, cleaning, laundry, or paying bills?
yes, I do. For cooking and cleaning, I do. Now, actually, I do have issues with paying the bill, because with this disability, I can only make $1,200 a month, so my boyfriend helps me out with paying the bills.
Mm-hmm. Still waiting. Want to hear more detail. Keep going.
Okay, okay. So he helps with the bills part. He works and does his part. But I also have issues, like I said, with the cleaning. It's hard for me to clean if I can't even get out of the bed due to vertigo or depression.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for me to cook, especially with my left hand, because I'm always dropping stuff. So I have to be very careful about moving around in the kitchen and knowing what I can pick up, what I can't pick up. So I asked my boyfriend, can he lift this or can he lift that?
Okay.
Or I have issues if I try to vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
Or if my left hand, like I said, it has really sharp pain. It's a very sharp pain in my hand, so I'll have to stop until the pain goes away. Mm-hmm. Or if I need to pick something up off the floor and I can't pick it up because of my knee hurt so bad with, the missing cartilage in my knee, so I'll have to wait a few minutes before that pain goes away. Then I'll get started again, and then I'll have to stop. It's like I'm stopped and start. So I have all types of issues when I try to clean my house or cook.
Okay.
Okay, so you're causing. Okay, so, and as far as, like I said, my vertigo, it's very, very hard to clean or to do anything because you're constantly nauseated, and the room is issue that I have right now.
Okay. All right. So here's, I think, the main issue with your testimony. I've been sitting here listening to you. I wanted to give you a little bit more room. You are a bullet point oriented person, which is good. The banking system has also taught you to be concise, which is good. None of that will help you with this, in the sense of being able to deliver something that the judge will connect with. The only thing that's going to help you with is organizing your thoughts for the easy questions, which are the bullet point answers. That's the top 5 most severe impairments. What medication are you on? What's it for? And what side effects do you get? The bullet point questions you'll do well with. The questions that you're going to have a really tough time with are the story questions, and basically trying to get the judge to connect with you. Now, at your current age, do you have a hearing coming up, or did you just recently file? Where are you at in the process? About an attorney?
Yes.
Okay. And help me out with this. Has the attorney run questions with you so far?
No, okay. Because it's the weirdest type of it's one of those low budget type of. It's not like an attorney. It's just something that they hired. Premier Well, I don't know if I can say it over the phone, but.
Well, I mean, you don't have to
They
say the
hired
name.
one.
Yeah, but what is it like? Allsup hired some other group that hired some person to go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. So
exactly.
so was this a prior LTD situation that's converting into disability benefits?
Can you repeat the question?
Was it like a long-term disability situation that's now converting into disability?
Yes.
Okay. In these situations, you get what I call the second crappiest attorneys that are available. So,
Exactly.
yeah, number one on the list are the big box firms. They're just not available. Number two on the list are basically the guns for hire. They're actually just petunias that they hand or throw at you. So the bottom line is, yeah, weaknesses in your claim that you need to shore up immediately, which is going to be a little bit tricky. First and foremost, having actual medication prescribed to you by a doctor, and then being able to show consistently on record that you are utilizing the medication as prescribed. Number two, getting your records from your prior workplaces that show that you have a poor attendance record, or that you were off task often because of the bathroom use, or that you were terminated with purpose, with reason. Number three, issues, back issues. Number four, basically, the big thing I'm hearing is just working on the testimony. Did you watch the top 50 ALJ trick question videos yet, or no?
No, I haven't.
All right, go check those out. Watch those tonight because those are going to be important for this overall adjudication. Where's your judge based?
Texas. Well, no. Yeah, Texas. That's right.
Texas. Okay, cool.
Where I
So,
live.
okay, passage rate of your judge.
Well, like my firm, they didn't even tell me anything about that. They don't even tell me her name. They just said it's a judge in Texas, and they're not able to tell me that.
Well, you're highly prepared with knowledge.
No, exactly.
Yeah, you have going for it. I think you said you were 54, right?
Correct.
Okay. So at 54 years old, you're close to the grid out point, which is, I mean, you're going to potentially grid out at 50 with the sedentary base, but, 50 to 55. But at 54, you're looking at how do I beat sedentary based jobs? So let's just run a couple of questions. And I know there's another person that wants to call in, but let's run a couple of questions real quick.
Okay.
Help me out. Why do you feel that you could not do a security job where you're sitting for 6 out of 8 hours watching monitors, and then for 2 out of 8 hours you're walking checkpoints? Why would you have a tough time doing that job?
Well, Judge, because Rico could hit at any time. I could be sitting there, and all of a sudden, the room will start spinning out of nowhere. And then I'll be ankle socks that kind of pull up on the ankles. And they didn't help. So as far as just being a sedentary job, I could not do that when it comes to vertigo, because those attacks, they hit at any time.
Okay. What seems to bring them on?
Probably being hot, the environment being hot, and even if I was in the air conditioning, because I was in the bed the first time that it hit, and it was in the air conditioning, and it still hit. So I don't know if it's cause of.
What did you pick up? What did you learn from running these questions?
What did I learn from you asking me these questions?
Yeah, I'm just I want to gauge the effectiveness of this, because I do this as a thing to like help people out. Walk me through, like, what do you feel you get you learn from this experience of having these questions thrown at you?
Well, the experience that I've learned just over the phone with you is that you tell me that I really need to communicate a little bit better than what I've been communicating. I don't use enough adjectives. I don't explain myself very well, as far as, like you're saying, I need a little bit, my leg hurts or my feet hurts. You want to know, I guess, every little detail. Like when I'm vacuuming, I have to stop because my left foot is tingling. I guess I just need to go into more details and use adjectives. And don't use, from 1 to 10, don't use that. You said don't do that. Because that means you said I need surgery. And the medicines, you said that I to, well, I was prescribed this one medicine, for the vertigo, but the other ones, you said, well, why for diabetes? That's because I said I lost my job. But I've learned, I guess, to communicate a little bit more in details is what you're saying the judge is going to be looking for.
Okay. All right. So you're a detail-oriented person. What you...
Well, I don't know.
Don't think about it. Take a moment.
Okay. What else do I need to improve? Well, when you were asking me about the laundry, you were really, asking me about that depression part. I put it in the washing machine, and sometimes I forget to put it in the dryer. To me, that's like the details, small details, or maybe the big details to the judge, because it's like if someone at the job was asking you to perform a job and you need to do from A through Z, but you go from A through A and skip all the way B through, what is it, V. That's a whole step that you're missing. And that's kind of the way my brain thinks, because, I'm so depressed.
Okay, so we're back to a hierarchy, if you will, of things that are going on in your brain, which is fine. That's how you think. But we're focusing on more general. What is your testimony missing? And I'm not looking for bullet points. I'm not I'm not looking for details of missing a step. And while you're working on that, I'm going to give my puppy dog another treat because Shadow just stole it.
No, go right ahead. By the way, they're really pretty.
Yeah, no, they're good. They're horribly mischievous. I took them both to the vet today, and the problem was Sweetie got high passing beautiful flag of going through. Everybody loved her. They thought she was adorable. And then I noticed that they didn't say a single nice thing about Shadow because he did pee on 4 of them. So
Oh, poor baby.
I agree. He was so poorly misbehaved that they ultimately had to pick him up and walk him in with hands extended. So,
that's precious. I love dogs. They're so precious. They can't help it.
I know. I agree.
They had to go.
I absolutely love them. I really, really do. So basically, I feel like you're almost at a job interview trying to feed me information that I want to hear, which is fine. I mean, you're good at that. Obviously, you're in the corporate market. That is clear without a doubt. So tell me, how do you better connect with the humanistic nature of making me believe the pain that you're actually in?
About crying over the phone? I mean, if you want to be honest, I could.
Yeah. Okay. Walk me through it.
Okay, I could tell some stories to this judge that she will be like, "Girl, I can't believe you're still alive," because of the things that have happened to me when I was a child. But I want to really get onto that on the phone because it's very, very devastating. It has something to do with my depression. Just things that happen to you when you're younger with certain people that shouldn't have happened when you were little.
Sure.
That's one of the reasons why I know I'm depressed and I make bad decisions in life, And then your parents will yell at you or fuss at you or call you stupid or dumb or green. When I know I'm not that, So.
Okay, good. So now we're starting to explore what basically happened to you in your childhood, which was either abuse or sexual abuse, which is the beginnings of the whole PTSD thing, which is probably what your depression stems from. being, flashbacks, nightmares, memories that keep coming back, which is very important. And this is, okay, why do you have these issues? What's going to fix these issues? If you don't have, medical connections with insurance, then what alternative options do you have? So one thing you might want to have your attorney go ahead and do is request an open record for 30 days so that you can go to new medical facilities that you've recently discovered, like clinics and stuff like that, which will help you submit more recent up-to-date medical records. And just remember, when you're in there, it's so important. It's so important to be able to show why you couldn't do a sedentary job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, the thing is,
yeah, go ahead.
I can't even talk to my attorney because they're like, we only talked to you one time, and after that, we're going to back over to this firm, and then they're going to tell you the outcome. And I'm like, are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, that was just throwing one of these pathetic attorneys, and that's kind of why I was worried. That's why I wanted to call you and have you go over stuff with me, because they don't do that.
Okay.
The attorneys don't do that, or that they assign them to.
Another thing that I want to ask you about is with the depression. When you're seen for depression, when was the last time you were seen for depression?
Oh, about 2018 when I had my insurance.
Okay. What were they saying about it? What was the cause? What medications were they hoping to prescribe you?
Well, at the time my mom had passed, and I just, I just told them I just didn't want to be here anymore, because
Sure.
Whenever you lose a parent, it's really, really hard. And they were just saying that, oh, just try it, for 2 weeks, and it's the dose. And at all. And so they did up the dose. I still didn't feel any different.
Mm-hmm.
So I just felt kind of like I had a fog in my mind. Like, it didn't make me feel like my brain was attached to my head, which doesn't make any sense, but that's kind of the way it made me feel. So I stopped taking it after a month because I didn't feel any better. That's probably not what the judge wants to hear, but that's the truth.
Okay. So, all right. Let me ask you this. How do you feel you can make your testimony more humanistic?
Well, by telling them where my depression stems from. Well, the reason why I can't work now is because I didn't have that vertigo then. The vertigo is really what made me decide, to file for disability, because there's no one on this earth to do a full-time job, having vertigo, where you all of a sudden walking, and then all of a sudden your world starts turning like a merry-go-round out of nowhere, and then you're throwing up. I've never heard of that, actually, even before I started having this vertigo. You may be able to work part-time, but not full-time.
Okay. You're currently working. Heavily, liberally apply your boyfriend as the person who does most functions, as I'm sure he does currently. Make sure you explain how long you can stand, sit, walk. Make sure you explain how far away you can do trips with Grubhub, that you limit your services to certain things.
Okay.
Make sure that you go into detail about the pain that you feel while driving, where it gets worse, how long it takes. Make sure you explain how long you have to rest thereafter. And make sure you explain how many jobs you can do a day due to the pain. If you have pain and rest, you can go ahead and recuperate, and have pain and rest and go ahead and recuperate. But after that, you're done for the day.
Okay.
Also, understand that your attorney is going to be a total, I can't say they're going to be great. They're more into yeah. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to carry your testimony, give a lot of great detail, and you're going to have to go and basically save this thing from that person. As it sounds to me right now, this would have been a really great claim, a claim that I could easily have won. But here are the things that I know are going to be a problem. Number one, you're still working. You should have done this stuff under a different account with your boyfriend as being the main person since he's the one driving all the time. Number 2, you don't have medication prescribed. Number 3, you don't have recent medical treatment. Number 4, you've got a humanistic, and then the final thing I would put in here is that you have an attorney that I can almost assure you is not going to write an opening statement. They're not going to write a brief. They're not going to do any of that stuff. So the main focus here that I want you to really just realize is that you always have an appeal option thereafter. But if you can get the judge to keep an open record for 30 days, you can go get an orthopedic device like a cane prescribed to you, recent medical treatment, medication that's prescribed. You can get, PTSD review for what happened to you as a kid. There's a lot of things that you can do to save this thing as it's going forward. Because the last thing you really want to have to look forward to going to So with carrying all that, the attorney has collected all of your medical evidence.
Yes, they said they have. My firm has. The attorney says he has too. I only talked to him one time.
Do me a favor, request your exhibit disc. That's just a CD or DVD where they put all of your exhibits on it. That way you can go through it later and see in the F folder, the F is in front folder, specifically if all of your medical records were in there. Because you might be able to say that you had inadequate counsel that was not properly representing you, and as a sign of that did not collect medical evidence, but tell you yada, yada, yada. You might be able to use that line as part of the ALJ. All right, Madame, do you have any questions for me?
No, just thank you for going over it with me. I thought that this is the strangest type of representation I've ever had. I mean, 2 years I've been going through this, and when I'm actually assigned an attorney, I called him up. I kept leaving messages, and he says, well, you're only going to talk to me one time. And after that, you won't ever hear from me again. Yeah. And I was like kind of shocked. And I said, I'll answer the questions like you. Well, what type of questions do you think the judge is going to ask me? And he's like, well, I'm biased, is what he said. I'm biased. So I'm just going to basically listen to what the judge. And I'm like, that's not really helping me do anything. Right. So, yes, if you hire, you get for what you pay for, which I didn't pay for. That's what you said. So.
Well, if I told you the truth of that, it would piss you off. But let's keep thinking that. Because all the attorneys cost the same amount. So as a banker, it might frustrate you to know by statute, we all make the same thing. God. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's up in God's hands. There's nothing I can do about it right now. So pray that I'll get a judge that has a humanistic part. Like you said, I don't really have that, but maybe they can understand where I'm coming from. Sometimes maybe the judge have had these type of ailments, because I know I've had people who, like, if they haven't been through what you've been, they can't understand. But if they've been through what you've been through, maybe they'll be a little bit more understanding. So that's what I'm saying about it's up in God's hands. And if it's meant for me to get a disability, it's meant to be. If it's not, it's not.
Are there any surgeries, treatments, medications, or therapies that?
Medications, therapy, yes. No, because I keep going back to that vertigo. Because if I knew how to understand where vertigo come from, why it happens, I think that, I'm not a doctor. If the doctor could tell me why can these attacks hit, if they could talk to me, if they could prescribe some medicine that won't cause me being dizzy again or nauseated, then I think, I could probably get back to work. But then it'll still be with limitations, because even though I can bend down, I could have a hard time getting up. I still have these other limitations. But with the leg, my boyfriend to help me out when he's driving to deliver food. Like I said, my boyfriend, if I didn't have him, I would be lost right now. but he's a very big help to me.
Don't undersell, meaning sell it well in the hearing, how your boyfriend is a saint and goes above and beyond to assist you. Because the judges refer back to your boyfriend when you talk about your limitations with laundry, cooking and cleaning, all those things as well, especially when it comes to buying groceries. Do not fall into the pit of death when it comes to groceries and they're talking about how much you can lift. Because they're going to try and trick you to say that you lift a lot, heavy bag, lean on it, you use a motorized cart, whatever. Make sure you go into the detail about that.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Madame, I will catch you later. Have an absolutely wonderful night.
You too, and stay blessed with your beautiful dogs.
Thank you. Will do. And have a wonderful night. I'll catch you guys later. And any questions, don't be afraid to reach out to me in the future.
Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, so real quick, I want to give you a recap as to the things that I noticed about that claim. That was a claim that was pretty much a really good one that was not prepared well legally. Medically, big holes in it. Her testimony, they're calling. Okay, hold on.
Michael.
Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. Oh, let me do this one. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot with Disability Resolution PA. I'd like to go ahead and run hearing questions with you live. Do you have a moment to go through and do those hearing questions right now?
Yes.
Perfect, good sir. Make sure you use a fake name throughout this process. Go ahead and state your full name, your full fake name for the record.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
45 years old.
How old are you?
I'm 45.
45 years old. Okay, so there's no statute that's going to help us. Walk me through this. What are your top 3 most severe impairments?
I have PTSD. I'm rated 100%.
VA. Okay.
Permanent and total from the VA. The impairment with the symptoms are anxiety, depression, nightmares, flashbacks, social isolation. All that stuff. Then I have cervical issues on my neck. I had a level 2 fusion with nerve damage in my arms.
Your arms, okay.
Nerve damage in my legs. But additionally, they rated me another 100% for those impairments from the VA. I see a neurosurgeon again, did another surgery in August or September to clean up bone spurs around all the hardware in my neck.
Okay. And
I don't have a third impairment. I think I'm good with those 2.
Okay. So walk me through this 100% VA notification. When did you get that?
Last year I retired from the Army last year in July, and I got my rating in September, 1 September last year. I got my award letter.
Okay, so walk me through this. We got a year under our belt. Now, do you mind if I bring up information from your email? Do you mind if I actually make this specific hearing testimony to what you sent me in the email?
No, go ahead. I will appreciate it.
So one of the first things I noticed from that situation was that basically, your attorney said, let me grab the dog real quick. Sweetie, come here. Your attorney basically shouldn't be going ahead and filing or didn't have grounds for an OTR. OTR stands for on the record. On the record means that basically they decide the claim without actually having to go to a hearing. You, as a 100% VA-based person, are absolutely capable of having an OTR. In fact, it would be a waste of time to not submit to the court an OTR. And the reason why your attorney does not want you to have an OTR is because the faster you are found disabled, the less money the attorney gets, which is why if you have an OTR situation, you'll be found disabled sooner. The attorney will make less, but you'll make more because you'll get more money on your forward pay because you have less back pay months because you'll start your forward pay sooner. Now, help me out with this. Has the attorney discussed with you what your alleged onset date should be?
Yes. He said I was discharged from active duty.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Now, I never wanted to be, I mean, that wasn't the plan, retire and then file disability. I had a really good job offer in Virginia, and, they were waiting for me. I couldn't go there. I was freaking out. And then I took a job at freaking Walmart, and I lasted 4 days at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. But the attorney said don't mention that, so he used 1 July as the onset date.
Wait. So give me some detail here. So basically, you retired from the military. You had another job option. You couldn't do it. And how long ago was it that you retired from the military?
Okay, so I retired from the Army 1 July 2019. So roughly it's around a year now. So 1 July 2019 is when I retired. Mm-hmm. I could have started my new job in Virginia 1 August 1 August last year, but I never made it there. And I took a job. My sister took me. That's another story, but I took a job. What was it, like 20 August? I took a job 20 August, 15 August, sometime in August. I just started applying for jobs because I didn't want to just Lowe's. They wanted to hire me. Walmart, it wasn't too far. I hate driving, And so I said, okay, I'll do the job at Walmart, whatever. And I did the orientation, and then 3 days, and the 4th day, I got into it with the manager, and I just walked down. I thought, punch him in the head. But I walked out, and and I said I can't do that. Mm-hmm. Plus I see my counselor and the other psychiatrist. I see 2 mental health people. Mm-hmm. I see them every week. I have other doctor's appointments. Like every week I have like 1 or 2 doctor's appointments. Mm-hmm. So, how are you going to do? No, that was my official date of separation. That's when I stopped.
Okay, cool. So you didn't have enough earnings in that month, right? You didn't have enough earnings in that month because it was the first day of the month. So you're going to set it right as that month, which is fine. Now, what was the date that you got your 100% VA?
Effective date is 1 September last year.
So 9/1/19. Okay, cool. All right. So the judge is not going to have a hard time giving you an allowance for 7/1/19. This is what I would like you to do. And keep in mind, I can only give you a second opinion. I cannot demand that you do this. I cannot push you to do this and demand it with a gun to your head and say you have to do this. But it would be within your best interest to submit to the court. You can just write up a letter that says, Your Honor, I'm requesting an OTR be completed on my claim with the following alleged onset date, being 7/1/19. And then put the following bullet points. The bullet points are going to be no new work. Number 2, 9/1/19 100% VPAT, VPAT. Okay. Also, the other thing you're going to put down is how many years of military service you've done.
Okay.
And you're going to put down prior work, like a list of your prior work categories. So, you were military, you were this, you were that, yada, yada. And then you're going to also include... Yeah, go ahead.
I was only in the military.
Okay.
That's all I ever done.
Okay.
Except for those 4 days.
Okay, gotcha. Let me grab one of my dogs here before they bite the other one. So let me ask you this. With that said, Did you ever obtain from Walmart any document that said, you were unable to complete the basic functional aspects of?
No, I didn't even call them for my W-2. They just mailed it to me in January. Yeah, I never went back there.
Okay. So what I'd like you to do is obtain your personal record from Walmart, which will say that you basically got into a fight with the manager. And I'd like you to attach that to the submission, the OTR submission that you're going to make. When is your hearing, by the way?
It's the end of August. My recon was denied in May, and then my attorney told me that it's probably going to take, he said, on average here, 9 to 12 months for the hearing. But then the same month, I got my hearing.
Okay. You're going to need to submit this pretty darn soon, so you may have to skip the whole Walmart thing. Is this, if we're talking about August, then you don't need an OTR. I mean, we're in July, August is the next month. So,
well, I didn't know what an OTR was until you emailed me back. And then this morning I emailed the attorney's office, and then they emailed me back and that they didn't identify anything in my record that would justify a OTR, but not to worry about it.
Okay.
I'm like, okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So just as a what you should take from that, that your attorneys are in this as solely as a money game, because what that means is that basically your attorney wants to push out with as much time as many back pay months as they can get. So when they're making choices, just be aware of that and be cautious with it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and run hearing questions quickly, beat you up a little bit to get you ready for it. Do you know which judge you have?
Yes.
Okay. What area are you located in?
In Kentucky.
Okay.
It will be at the office. Well, it's a phone hearing.
Yeah, telephonic. Yeah. It pretty much just they've announced via the SSA that hearings through September are going to be telephonic. Way back in the beginning, they were promoting the idea of all the way through October. So I'm actually physically going back to offices in September unless something changes. And, to be honest with you, this is a really good thing because the judges, they're all mostly, for the most part, they're all older. So I don't know if you guys know this, but in the Social Security disability field, so the writers, the judges, and the attorneys, judges are old. Like they're like 60s, 70s, even some of them are in their 80s, old. And most of the attorneys that do stuff are also old. They're in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. Most of the attorneys, so like there's hardly anybody that practices disability law in my age group that's an attorney. If they are, they're usually, attorneys that work for somebody and it's just a thing where they're doing it to find some other job, yada, yada, yada. So the bottom line is if these judges get sick because they're older, they are likely A, to have a problem, and B, we don't have people to replace them with. That's kind of the kicker. So they got to protect those judges in a huge way. The other thing that I want you to know is this. Telephonic hearings are not going the way that I think a lot of people would hope that they would go. There's a huge gap between basically that you have. They're not really grasping the severity of that sound in your voice as to why you're in pain. So what's happening is all of a sudden judges are automatically having this like disconnection from who you are as a person. They're disconnecting from the pain and the issues and the impairments that you have. So in that regard, there is a little bit of a problem with these telephonic hearings. Now, with that said, I'm going to beat you up and I'm going to do this quickly. So are you ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead and state your full name for the record.
Say again, I didn't hear you.
Go ahead and state your full name for the record.
Mikey Gold.
Okay. Now, help me out with this. What is your most severe physical impairment?
It's my upper back and my arms.
Okay. Out of your upper back and arms, which is the most severe?
Yes. Well, physical impairment, yes.
Okay. Those two, which is the most severe, the back or the arms?
My arms.
Your arms. Okay. Now walk me through this. What is it about your arms that's a problem?
I really can't lift them like above my shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have any grip strength in my right hand, which is my dominant hand.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very hard to, hold on to stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or not dropping like a coffee cup that happens to me, once or twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
Or to put like shoes on,
Mm-hmm.
or anything I need to do like over my head. It's painful and difficult for me.
Define painful.
So
What is it?
But yeah, from an impairment point of view, it's really my arms where I can, really use them the way I just need to.
Okay. So walk me through this. What is your most severe mental impairment?
I am diagnosed with PTSD, so, but the symptoms I feel the most with is the nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
Not able to sleep. I don't leave the house unless I really have to.
Mm-hmm.
I want to stay by myself. I'm irritated a lot, and I'm not just angry, but really annoyed, and a lot of things remind me of Christmas and stuff.
What do you mean by your ghosts are coming back? What does that mean?
I sometimes hear voices, or I think someone is in the room, like, I close the doors and make sure the windows are locked. Old friends, they're not, here anymore. And see them sometimes. So I meet them in my dreams.
When you say you hear voices, are they male or female?
What is that?
When you say you hear voices, are they male or female?
It's just,
What are the conversations usually about?
There's some well, I don't want to cut on here, but it's like this is some crazy stuff that we're doing here. You take care of me, I take care of you. What we're gonna do when we get home, stuff like that.
Okay.
My traumas are mostly, combat related. So
Okay. Help me out with
I never
this.
got abused or anything.
Okay. Help me out with this. When it comes to your impairments, now that you're home, do you have a wife? Do you have children?
No, I haven't been in a relationship in over 10 years.
Okay.
The last time it didn't work out too well.
Okay.
And the cops showed up.
Okay. That happens. That happens to a lot of people nowadays. Let me ask you this. So, do you currently have a driver's license?
I do, yes.
Okay. When was the last time you were out of the county?
Last year.
When was the last time you were out of the state?
In January, when I had to go to the VA in Nashville, and so I had to go to Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
That's like an hour drive. That was the last time I had to go. I left the state.
Okay, gotcha. So help me out with this. Basically you're having these issues, right? And you're trying to get through them. Are you currently getting medical treatment?
I'm multiple sources. I see I see the VA,
Mm-hmm.
and then I also use my TRICARE, my regular insurance, to see an additional psychiatrist, a family practitioner.
Mm-hmm.
I had a heart catheter done last week because they thought I had to block it in my heart, but that turned out that it was a false reading due to the stress test and the echo.
Okay.
Then I see the neurosurgeon, also at my expense, because the VA is what the VA is, So, but yeah, I do see multiple doctors.
Now I'm going to ask you a tough question. You're not going to be able to answer it well. Then we're going to go over how to answer it well. Can you walk me through, why are you unable.
Well, the reason I can't work no more is the last 20 years when I joined the military, I always, you know, I was going, hard at it. I always worked hard. I got promoted. I did what I could, worked long hours. And then over time, after the first deployment and the second deployment, I started having issues, with authority, getting back into a normal social setting. Third deployment is when I started seeing a behavioral health guy in Kansas, which, at the time it was laughable to be in the military and tell them that you got issues in, with your head. Fourth deployment, I started getting even jiggery downrange. After the fifth deployment, I came back and I started getting angry and more. I couldn't hang with everybody else anymore. I got pressure from my supervisors to get my act right. I got on more and more medication. It got me drowsy. I get dizzy. It gives me diarrhea.
Mm-hmm.
When I take my sleep medication, I still can't sleep. But when I do, I wake up 2-3 hours later. I'll be drowsy the rest of the day or the rest of the night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, I can't get, I just couldn't do my job. And when I left and tried to do something else, I couldn't even show up at work.
Let me ask you this real quick, because I think this is important. You started to go into it, and it was really good. You were explaining in a timeline fashion the limitations that you had while you were working with the military. That was really good. What I want to know are more of those. You said you were jittery downrange. What are other examples of things that you had difficulty with towards the end while you were in the military?
Well, like I couldn't be at home. I couldn't be with my family anymore because they couldn't understand. I still don't talk to my dad and my mom. She called, they come up to me, for, assaulting me, but luckily,
Mm-hmm.
they just told me if they get called, then they're gonna arrest me.
Okay.
When I'm in the car, like I only drive, like I said, but when I really have to, when I do, I always make sure my appointments are doing a little rush hour,
Mm-hmm.
and not like on the wind burning flash,
Mm-hmm.
on the lag. I don't go out and eat because I hate crowds.
Mm-hmm.
4th of July was a mess. I freak out when I hear booms. No, that was
Well, why was the 4th of July a mess?
I don't like fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
And not just, something boom, but, when I see the rockets go up in the air and I see the red, the white and blue and stuff, those are the colors we use to call in like a medevac.
Mm-hmm. Medications are you currently taking? What are they for, and what side effects do you get from them?
So I take Ambien,
Mm-hmm.
5 milligrams for insomnia, for my sleeping pill.
Mm-hmm.
I do at times sleep walk.
Mm-hmm.
With when I take it as a side effect, it does makes me drowsy
Mm-hmm.
in the morning, like very drowsy.
Mm-hmm.
And I take Cymbalta, 120 milligrams for my back problems, but also for my anxiety. That gives me diarrhea. They did it. At times I get nauseous. They increased that dosage from 150 to 450 now. I take Pressozin, 80 milligrams for my nightmares. I don't know if that gives me any side effects. I don't know. I take at times Tramadol for the pain. I take Simvastatin, I think that's what it's called, for my cholesterol. And I take propanol. Propanol, 150 milligrams for my headaches, migraines, like a muscle relaxer for my back, and also some like steroid pills from the neurosurgeon now for my back. Also until he can give me shots and do surgery. So I think that's it. Maybe I forgot one or two, but those are the main ones I take once and twice a day.
Okay. So you got quite a few medications. Look, this does not sound like a very difficult claim to win. The only hard part about it is your age, which means no grid out option, which means you're going to be a vocational allowance, maybe a listing. So that's kind of what I'm seeing with this situation. Now, let me ask you this, though. When it comes to things in the environment that you have difficult time,
honking the horn, flashing lights, the sound of a helicopter, the smell of food, certain food. I would leave, but when your people talk, which happens a lot with the DNA, people like to share their story.
Sure.
Crowded way, and I don't know where I'm going. I'm around too many people. Get really excited and kind of get a panic attack. When the door, I get jumpy. Yeah, I think that it's kind of there.
Do you think there's any job in the national economy that you could work?
I don't know. Not always, but I thought maybe when I go back as a contractor, I always kind of felt better, in Afghanistan and Iraq. And I can't do that too, because I wouldn't have their
The physical, medical, yeah. Okay.
With my VA rating. Okay. I mean, who would send you down there as a contractor with a 100% rating?
Right.
You just the story on CNN.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this: when it comes down to receiving benefits from the government, which benefits are you currently receiving?
I get my retirement, and I get my VA disability. I'm not saying that. This is not about money. I know there are many people here, or in your chat, and
sure,
who apply for Social Security, who can't pay for their medication, who don't have insurance. I have all that, and I just not a dire need. I'm stable financially. I am, and I'm not going to make a fuss about it. The point I'm making is that I don't think I can work anymore, and I'm disabled, so I paid Social Security. So grant me my disability. If I'm, if someone else already determined that I'm completely disabled by their standards, and you already acknowledged, when I say you, the Social Security, when you already acknowledged my disability, then why are you fighting me? That's another layer of security, the Social Security disability.
Okay.
So
now, wondering, don't
yes,
don't sell the whole thing as like, you're good financially, everything's wonderful, yada yada yada, to them, and have them on board with you in your current suffering state. And even though you have medical insurance, even though you have a check every month, that does not mean that you should put it into their head that you're good to go either way, because that's the first thing that pops into any human's head. And you want to stay away from that. You want them to believe you need the funds, and you do need the funds.
And I do. I have a service dog that is in training, and it's going to cost me about $20,000.
Yeah.
To get him fully trained and certified. He is in training, but it cost me about $1,200.
Mm-hmm. This dog's supposed to help you. Obviously, it's for the emotional stuff, but walk me through it.
Well, he's supposed to remind me to take my medication, to do my medication. Mm-hmm. He's supposed to comfort me when he senses a higher level of anxiety and depression. He's supposed to pull me away when I watch YouTube videos, or stare at the wall like an idiot, mm-hmm. and get me snip me kind of out of it, mm-hmm. So that's supposed to be his main functions.
Okay. Help me out with this. Do you have any hobbies? Do you have anything that?
Because I don't want to leave the house. I really don't. I used to like to go fishing. I'm originally from Winter Park, Florida.
Sure.
So we always went fishing. I used to road trips way back in the days. I like to travel. That was one of the reasons why I joined the military in the first place. Mm-hmm. Now you want to. That is one of the goals my counselors want me to achieve, is to have a hobby again. Even do something while I'm in the house. I refuse to leave. Started painting. I started writing with joy. I don't really have a real hobby anymore.
Okay. You said that you had difficulty when listening to other stories about what happened to them. Are you currently going to some sort of therapy group where you're interacting with other people who have a similar background to you?
No, my psychiatrist, like the years, she recommended to do another IOP. I already had one IOP, but she recommended to do another IOP. I used to be in a group. I used to have groups for that type, I guess, of mental impairment. I have found on the internet, and it was not recommended by my counselors.
Okay. Now, walk me through this. So you've had these difficulties. What are they saying medically for the future of you? What's going to need to happen in order to get you more stable?
Well, they keep on the mental part.
Yeah.
They keep my dosage of medication first, mm-hmm. because I guess they're always worried that I'm going to do something stupid. Mm-hmm. So until they think I'm stable enough, that's when they want to go out, go shopping, other people, start socializing again, reconnect with family to have some more social bonds in your life. They want me to, start seeing more positive and do positive things with the time I have. Mm-hmm. Like enjoyable stuff, like a hobby. That's main goal. They already said they highly doubt that I can work. I mean, the one psychiatrist, I only had seen her 5 times over the phone, and she was reluctant to fill out the RFC I sent to because she couldn't really assess me that well, but fully supported the claim for Social Security. So she did fill that thing out. Versus my VA counselor.
Okay. Can you tell me this, going forward, which impairment is most likely to become the most severe? Is it the current one that is the most severe, or is it likely to change?
The one now? Which one?
How are your impairments going to proceed, and which is going to become the most severe if it's not the current one?
I think at the point, I know I'm always going to have to deal with my PTSD. For a long time, I was in denial. I don't use drugs or drink or was like really I'm not going to associate with PTSD. I saw it myself, but over the last couple of years, I realized that I'm not going to. There's no pill for it, and you can't shake it off. You just can try to control it, the best you can, and try to live with it. So if I can't do that, then I think that's going to be the one I'm going to have the most difficulties. I can live with back pain. I can have another surgery to get my spine fixed. And if I only get 50% of my grip strength back, then it's better than nothing. There's no surgery to heal my emotions.
Okay. All right.
So I would say the PTSD is the one I'm going to have to.
Is that basically the main focus is to get the judge to understand that you need the benefits, that you've been trying to get help, you haven't been able to get things fixed in a proper manner for, considering all the medical options you've had. You got to go into detail about which medications are working and which ones aren't. And then if you could give a little timeline going back as to which ones you've tried, which has worked, which has not worked, things like that, that would be really helpful. Another thing is that I'm assuming you haven't done a sleep study. That's okay. It's not imperative. I'm assuming you don't really have many orthopedic devices. So explain when you go to do grocery shopping, if you do grocery shopping, that you have to lean on the cart or your worker, explaining in addition to back up what those doctors were saying on those RFC forms. So do you have a letter from your case manager as well, or no?
Sure, he will write that if I ask him. I didn't know if I need that. Nobody freaking tells me anything. I had the support from all these people, but I don't know what I need, really. If I might call this stupid attorney, I can't, you don't call back or anything.
Okay.
But yeah, if I ask him to write me a letter, I'm sure he will.
Okay.
But I know he will.
Okay. So I would get that before you have the hearing. I would go ahead and submit that to the court you went through that bothers you from the war. They're not going to ask you because they don't want you to flip out in the hearing. But don't undersell it. Hit them with the truth, then explain what happened, and explain basically why you have the reactions you do. Why the relationships failed, why the cops were called, things like that. Because these are real humanistic tendencies that show your inability to do basic fundamental jobs. And at 45, there's no statute that helps you. So your whole game here is show why you can't work in the national economy.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect. Good,
Yeah.
sir. Do you have questions for me? Yeah, absolutely.
No, I really appreciate you and Cheyenne and all what you guys do. So, thank you for your help and
Absolutely.
good advice.
Excellent. Well, good, sir. I will catch you a little bit later. Have a wonderful, wonderful night.
All right. You too. And stay safe.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye. very capable claim being one, 100% VPAT, obviously military background, no additional past relevant work options, so that kind of simplifies the type of claim. Basically, this is a claim that should go through without issue. The only quick thing that's a problem is the 45 years old. The other thing that I would do with this claim is go ahead and purchase reports to submit them to show some of the issues he's had interacting with the general public, because remember, they're going to try and find jobs where he's interacting with, basically general public, bosses, coworkers, family, friends. And if he can limit that to not being able to be around other people, then they'll have to use the superficial, wording to say, okay, only if he has superficial contact with the general public. And if they're limiting the job to that, it really helps out with limiting the numbers of the jobs. And then when they give those 3 jobs, go ahead and come on here and get everything rolling. If you have any questions for me, that's fine. Always try to catch up with me in these live video chats. I hope you guys learned something from it. I always enjoy working with you guys and trying to do as much as I can to give you as much information as I can. If you have any questions, that's fine. Usual, shoot me an email, give me a call. Other than that, I will catch you later. Have a beautiful, wonderful, safe night. Please stay safe. Please stay healthy with everything that's going on. And of course, watch out for those little kids that are going to be going to school in Florida. Yeah, I love that. I love that. So, just try and do whatever you can to go ahead and stay safe and healthy. And then basically we will catch up next week on Thursday. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing in the near future when it comes to going on vacation, whether or not I'm still going to have the video or not. I probably will. So hopefully we'll be able to catch up in August and do that. Also, yes, I haven't had a chance to update Space Law, finish the website. I've been super duper duper busy. But here's the thing, guys. I'm going to be this week posting a list of all of the rights that people have thought of to put up there and starting the blog platform. So if you are into Constitution, the rights that people have, the rights that people could have, I'm basically creating the first open source Constitution online that anybody in the entire world, Earth, can go ahead and comment and blog about what they want their Constitution to have. So that's a really cool thing, because there's never been an open source Constitution that people can create. And then also, this is not built by the politicians, it's built by the people. So we're going to get some really interesting ideas compared to what they traditionally put into a Constitution of how they can control people. Because remember, a Constitution is a contractual agreement between you and the state that is based upon your rights and also how they're going to control those rights. So anyways, I hope all is well. I'll catch you later. Have an absolutely wonderful night, and we'll go from there.